What's happening, guys? Welcome back to Born Offside. Back another week of straying way offside and making the linesman's job quite easy. It's good to be back. And Kat's on the tequilas. That's when you know it's going to be a good episode. How are you, Kat?
I'm better now that I've had that first sip of tequila.
Do I still call you kicking off with Kat after your rebrand?
You can.
Yeah.
Look,
what's with the rebrand anyway?
Yeah.
The rebrand is only on Instagram. I'm still kicking off with Kat on TikTok and Twitter.
So was there a thought behind that? Or was that just like...
Look, I think, hear me out.
Okay.
Being a Haddad, being Lebanese, I don't feel like there's many of us in the football space.
Right.
And I wanted to start making my name part of what I do. And I feel like I didn't want to hide behind kicking off with Kat anymore. I'm very proud of being who I am, and I wanted to make it more known. So that's basically why I've done it.
I could see like kicking off with Kat being like your own show.
Yeah.
Like
it doesn't
100%.
mean that that's not still a thing.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, there you go. Olan, apparently you've been in a music video. Is that true?
Yeah.
Were you in a music video during the week?
Yeah, I was.
How does that work?
Hey, don't put me in a box because I'll get out of it. Don't put me in a box.
Look at this man.
I'm just, planting the seeds everywhere. But yeah, I was in they called me in to do the video comes out, I think maybe next week or the week afterwards. But I like the tune. They said you want to do a little skit part in the video. I was there being a 90s kind of
90s vibe?
instructor. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like an aerobics instructor.
Oh, yeah.
So you're being somewhat typecast now as like the trainer.
Yeah.
You did that
It's
for
like
JD.
similar, yeah, it was like similar sort of thing.
You've also dressed like one today.
Yeah. I was like, I got the YKT outfit on, but yeah, it was fun.
Coach Olan. Coach Trainer Olan.
Yeah.
I rate it. Why not? Did you no rapping career coming up for you? No,
Who
you never
knows?
Know. Yeah.
I think one day I might just jump in the booth.
May as well just
Lay a
drop
quick-
a track.
Yeah, I might as well. Do you reckon if you do good? I reckon it'd do good.
I've never
think
heard
Well,
you.
if Para had won, I would have dropped the track. I was
Wow.
writing
If
bars
Para
for that.
You were writing bars.
Like I had bars written. No, seriously,
Yeah.
I had bars written down. Cleary,
Unreleased.
I was dissing Cleary, Crichton a lot, yeah.
You could still do that,
But then because then it gets used against you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I always
true.
think of the other side, yeah.
I would love to see it. I'd love to hear it. You know what else actually hit us up? We're always saying, like, Born Offside, we're always open to chatting. We're always open to chatting with brands, chatting with people that are willing to go quite offside.
True.
Last week we did a story on the Swansea ball boy
Yeah.
Yes,
who
that
got
did pretty
kicked,
well.
right, and started the vodka brand. Well, that vodka brand hit us up.
No way.
Yeah, they hit us up during the week.
Did they actually, Shabs?
Yeah.
What they say?
They're
This
keen
could be
to...
our first deal.
They're keen to
go.
potentially work with us, which it was good because like you were slamming the guy, you were going off about how you hated him, but they saw the funny side of it, so we maybe I thought, look, it's good.
I guess
Why
that's
not?
I
the
rate
difference
it.
between like Aussie brands and UK brands.
Yeah.
Like
Any
like,
publicity is good publicity.
that's what I'm saying.
right?
Aussie brands, they like, or UK brands like the fact that even if it's an Australian saying it, it's like, oh, it's in Australia.
Yeah.
People know what it is over
Yeah.
there. They see it as a win. Even
Let's do a deal.
if we're kind of
Yeah.
slamming it, saying it's
100%.
good that he's done what he's done.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty.
They can
Pretty
see the
big.
fun side, and so that'll get quite dangerous if we're having bodies before every
Well,
episode. Kat.
I'll have to switch up from tequila.
Yeah, tequila today. Very brave. Let's start there with some local news. Let's chat some women's football, Kat. We're very excited about the Women's World Cup.
Very.
140 something days, I want to say, something like
Yeah.
that. 150 days. I saw the countdown the other
Yeah,
day.
yeah. I mean, it's fast
Something like
approaching.
that.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's very close. Matildas' attendance record is now expected to be smashed after they move the game away from Allianz. They're going to be playing at an 85,000 seater stadium, and we have a first question in. Liverpool. How big is Ellie Carpenter's return for the Matildas World Cup hopes, Kat? Is that a massive deal for us? She's like, is it like she's that type of player, a bit like Harry Suter?
Yes.
As long as she's walking, she's a shoe-in at right
Yeah.
back.
I think, and TG said this in the presser when they announced the Cup of Nations squad.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Cup of Nations. It's not the Women's World Cup, but it
Yeah.
is a taster for at least who's on the radar for the Women's World Cup. And Ellie's a huge talking point because she is such a key part of our defence. We need her.
Yeah.
We genuinely need Ellie in the Matildas. But because of her injury and everything, they were discussing whether or not to bring her out for it because her rehab is so good on a club level.
Just leave it there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she made her debut over the weekend,
Yeah, I
so
saw
she's
that.
fit to play, which is really positive.
Brilliant.
But yeah, she's definitely a key part of that Matilda squad, and we want to see her in the Women's World Cup 100%.
Definitely. She's still got a long way to go, so just
Yeah.
do that rehab over there. I'm sure they got the better facilities there at Lyon anyway. Leave her there.
Yeah.
A-League was pretty lit again this weekend. Entertaining affair between Sydney FC and the Mariners. Couple red cards in the first half, which we love to see. Sydney FC getting a much-needed win there as well. And then the one I want to talk about, Melbourne City. Melbourne City absolutely smashed MacArthur, which Dwight York recently called a pub team. They look like a pub team. 6-1. Absolute routing, right? Rado Vidicic has been rewarded with the full-time gig as manager. Saw a really interesting tweet from Tom Williams, journo, good friend of ours as well, down in Melbourne, I believe he is. He put an interesting tweet up. I did actually go on Twitter, Olan.
Did you?
I did.
Wow.
No slander.
It's very rare, but I did go on Twitter and I saw this one pop up right away. If Melbourne City played against a combined 11 of every other A-League team, who would win? Because they're so far in front at the moment and they're battering teams. If you took all the other clubs in the A-League, made a combined 11, would City still win?
I don't think so.
No? You think there's too much quality?
There's a lot of it. Like, let's not down talk the quality of the A-League. Yeah,
I'm not shitting it. I'm just saying how good Melbourne City are.
They are really good, but there's definitely a lot of talent.
Are they that good because I know we're going to compare to the Prem, but are they that good because everyone else is a bit more average? No one else is competing with them. Do you know what I mean?
I just think they've been so good for so many years. They've got this system. Like when you've got your number 9 that's been your number 9 now so many years in a row. I think he's about to win his 4th straight Golden Boot.
He's just smashing it week in, week out.
It's easy, right? There's veterans, there's people. Even Tom Glover, who's a young goalkeeper, has been their keeper now for so long. That I think there's a lot of consistency in that squad. So when you add someone in like Van der Venner, who's come in and scored a hat-trick, these are the little X factors you add year to year. But the core of that team is the same team. If they played a combined A-League All-Stars team, does chemistry come into play?
Oh,
exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
That is the key element, right? Of probably why they're performing so well is a large portion of that team have played together for so long.
Yeah.
It's a classic story. We see it in the Prem, we see it in Serie A. The team that knows each other inside out is generally going to win.
They're still flying even though they lost their gaffer, correct?
Exactly right. Yeah, the gaffer
went
crazy. Yeah. Paddy,
I thought it was all him.
And Kisnorbo's not having a great time overseas.
Kisnorbo's not having the best time at 12.
So he'll be back soon.
He could be back. Well, I don't know. They've given Rado Vidicic now a 2-year contract, so he seems to be the gaffer. He's only been a head coach once. That was in 2012. It lasted 11 games, and he got the sack from Brisbane. Besides that, he's always been an assistant or a caretaker, so good for him to finally have it. Of course, we know his son played for the Socceroos, Dario Vidicic. But Melbourne looking very, very good. This might be another reason I want to ask you this, Olan. Like, they are looking like one of the most consistent teams. You probably haven't seen this since like Brisbane Roar back in the day. They're so consistently good. They're so far better than everyone. But is it cruel that at the end of this season, there's going to be a final series and they could not win it? Is this another reason why we finals just aren't the way to go?
No, the final system, like, it always confuses me. I understand it in Australia though because you guys want to play more games.
Yeah.
Ultimately make more money, but it always confuses me that the person who finishes first might not be crowned like the winner, correct?
Yeah. It happens in the women's too, obviously, the same format. But this has been Sydney FC's like Achilles heel year in, year out.
They top it.
The table. And then, for example, last season, they topped the table, then Victory takes the win in finals.
Yeah.
And so it's for all the work that you put in to make that top 4, you're still not guaranteed that.
So they get the minor premiers.
We get minor premiers,
but minor premiers is like
right. You can't tell me who was minor premiers 4 years ago. Like no one remembers minor premiers.
You want that final trophy.
You need to win the toilet seat. That's the big one. But
the toilet seat.
I did have a look at Opta stats. You know, anyone that works in football, Opta stats is your best friend, right? Because it gives you absolutely everything from the world of football. And Opta have this leaderboard of all the clubs in the world, right? There's thousands of clubs, and they rank them from 1 all the way down.
What?
Yeah, and it changes every week.
How do they rank that?
It's based on Opta statistics. So the stats, how they're playing, if they're winning, shots on target, how much possession they keep. It's everything, right? It's everything.
That's wild.
So Melbourne City is the 340th best club in the world.
300. That doesn't sound too bad.
You know what I mean? At first you think...
Just for context, how many clubs are there in the world, like registered clubs?
There was 130... So hold on. There was 100 clubs per page.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of pages. I think it was like 140 pages.
Okay, wow.
And Melbourne were on page 3.
I mean, that's solid.
Page 4.
I needed the perspective. That's solid.
It's pretty good, right? I didn't keep going. I found them and I was like, I'll stop here. But look, they were better than Cruzeiro.
Okay.
Big team in Brazil. West Brom, Sheffield Wednesday, a lot of championship teams. Yeah. Better than Vissel Kobe, where Iniesta's playing. Better than a lot of clubs where Aussies have left for, like Viking, St. Pauli, and Hearts. Wow. Better than Peñarol, one of the most successful teams in Uruguay. Better than LA Galaxy. So, you're not convinced?
Yeah, that's a bit... Oh, but this is currently, correct?
This is currently. Melbourne City, according to Opta, Melbourne City they're better than about half the MLS. Yeah. Better than about half the championship.
And I you know what, I do think, and I agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think a lot of, because Australia is so secluded, the A-League's so secluded, and you don't really get to play other teams that much. You might play when there's obviously Sydney Cup a while ago where a couple teams come and they don't really
it's
play
a friendly
the strongest
though.
teams. It's a little bit of friendly derby. So you don't get to play other teams as consistently as other clubs do around the world. So that probably is true.
It's hard to disagree with stats.
Yeah.
But
at
also,
the end of
I'm
the day,
not a
it's
stat
obviously
guy at the
relative.
same time, though.
Yeah.
It's not about stats.
Yeah, I'm not a stat guy.
It's not about stats.
I'm the streets one forget guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair. You're thinking like cultural impact and like what you remember.
Yeah, that's where I always go.
I think that plays a huge part in the football conversation as well. But the stats don't lie. I mean, clearly they're doing something right.
Yeah. Well, I looked at the top 10 in the world. Inter 10th, Man United are 9th at the moment, Arsenal 8th. Even though they're top of the Premier League, according to Opta, they're the 8th best team in the world.
Okay.
PSG are 7th. Liverpool are 6th. I don't know.
Okay, now calculations are going all
I
over
don't
the
know
place.
why they're still 6th.
How is Liverpool sitting 6th?
Well, this is
current updated.
This is updated week to week. So
that can't be right because, like, for example, this season, Liverpool have conceded more goals at this point than they did in the entire last season.
I don't know.
Like, how can...
I don't know why. They've only dropped 3 places in the last week. So, or last month, I think. So they were at one point they were 4th, 3rd. Look, Real Madrid are 5th, Barcelona 4th, Napoli 3rd best team in the world at the moment.
Okay.
Apparently.
Manchester City 2nd, and Bayern Munich best team in the world.
Bayern Munich.
They're still top of Bundesliga.
Yeah.
They got back to winning ways. It's hard to argue with
disagree
that.
with that.
Bayern, but Napoli 3rd, Liverpool 6th. I don't know about that. That's questionable. Chelsea nowhere to be seen. They dropped right out of the 10.
Doesn't shock me.
Yeah, but that is the Opta stats. Look, not that it means anything. You don't win trophies with that, but I'll tell you what, anyone that wants to work in football, get familiar with Opta stats.
Yeah, they're mind-blowing, to be honest.
Quick chat about, I know you're working on Dub Zone again each and every week. There's a bit of controversy to come out of Dub Zone. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but let's talk about the good thing at the moment. Sarah Hunter's on fire, and the Sydney FC coach, Ante Juric, said the young Matilda compared her to Tim Cahill because she pops up for vital goals. She's in the right place at the right time. Is she a shout to be out there for the World Cup in July?
100%. I don't know about... She's young too. Yeah. She's definitely on the radar for a World Cup for the Matildas. Whether or not she makes this one or if she's in the running for what happens next, definitely. She's week in, week out on Dub Zone. She's a player that we constantly talk about. To be so young. And Teresa Polias is, one of the greatest Sydney FC players, women's players. Yeah. She's talked about Sarah Hunter a lot and her experience playing with her in her kind of final seasons at Sydney FC against her, and just saying the maturity and being able to play so many years ahead of her age.
Do you think girls are like ready to play first grade football younger than men?
Like in a maturity sense?
Well, but like, because it's probably slightly less physical in the sense of like, when you're 17 as a man, there's no way you can physically match a 26, 27-year-old man. Whereas in women, like we know that there's no under 20s. I know in New South Wales anyway, after 16s, it goes straight to reserve grade. Yeah. So a woman at 16, 17 is expected to play first grade.
There's always that saying that like if you're old enough, you're good enough.
Yeah.
If you're good enough. Is that the one? Is that you're old enough?
If you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah.
If you're good enough, you're old enough.
Because
Look at the right back for Man City. What's his name? 17-year-old.
Yeah, and he's been using him.
Bro, he's unreal.
Yeah.
Tiny. You look at him, you're like, how the hell is this guy going?
I feel like in those positions, sometimes you can get away with it. But yeah, you're right. If you're good enough, exactly right. If you're good enough.
Look, I agree with that, and I'm not a footballer at that level. I can't speak for them, but watching them, sometimes the age is irrelevant, and I think definitely you should give a girl a shout if she's showing up week in, week out and making an impact on the game, which in Sarah Hunter's case is exactly what she's doing.
I remember like 2011 World Cup, like some of these current Matildas debuted so young. Like Sam Kerr was so young.
She was
and Caitlin Ford was so young. And
but that's what we're seeing here, right? Is this kind of, and we talk about it all the time, football's generational. Yeah. And we are getting to the point where your Sam Kerrs, your Ellie Carpenters, the players that have just been around forever. Yeah. Are getting to that age where we kind of need to see the Sarah Hunters coming through, the Daniela Galich's coming through, Claire Hunt, for example.
Keep it fresh. You got to, what was the word? You got to shake.
You have to shake.
You have to get new guys. You need
Rio, did you play in United for how long?
Yeah.
You have to shake.
You have to shake. You have to shake. You have to shake the players. That's what we got to do in national team as well. NPL kicked off over the weekend.
Wait, before we go to NPL, we're speaking of young players. You guys see the goal? 16-year-old Kunda again.
Iran Kunda, what a player.
You missed that one?
What a player.
Bro,
he's first of the season, but he did that three times.
I think he's the next Qual.
Yeah.
Some people saying that he's better than Qual.
Well, he's got like.
And I don't want to compare
people
that.
People love to do that.
I know. I don't get that. But I thought when I saw he had the goal that he scored, and I don't know if you watch his interview afterwards, the maturity in his interview was wild.
He's great, man. He's great. He's got quality. I made a video about him.
We were talking about him time ago.
Ages ago, right? And that was before the A-League actually made videos about him. I'd like to say that. I made a video because the first time I see this guy, he's 15 years old, comes in off the bench. I don't care where you've played, what you've done. If you're 15, you came off the bench, they get a free kick. Fuck off, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
That already
tells me you're different.
Balls.
No,
are you serious?
But this happened in the women's like 2 weeks ago as well. Like it is something to talk about.
It's amazing.
The confidence.
That's it. Like already there, I was like, this guy, he hasn't even taken the free kick yet. I'm like, this kid must be something special. Because I at 15 would never have the guts to push off whoever's the regular free kick taker. I don't even know if Goodwin was on the park or whoever was on the park. Move him off, took the free kick and scored it and won the game.
Yeah, that's wild.
That already,
scored
it's
in
like
the night. I think he scored late.
Can retire after that.
Late in the game, yeah.
I'd be happy with that.
So I reckon he gets picked up next 2 years.
Hope so.
Prem.
He's still in that age where he's got that final bit of development to do. It'd be a good time for a big club overseas to go 16. Let's take him.
Yeah.
Give him those final few years of development. Let's see what he can turn out and do and come back and play for the Socceroos. Let's go to the NPL now, where a lot of these players do play regularly or do start. Kicked off over the weekend. Got a few messages to the pod. I want to just reiterate. Christian B and a couple of Claudes, goat of CB, great goal, bro. I didn't actually score.
Wait, what?
I didn't actually score. I just want to reiterate that. We got a few messages in the pod. People looked up, I think, my result.
Oh, yeah.
We won 3-0 and saw that I scored. It was actually a mistake.
Oh, no. Should have claimed that.
I jumped for the same header as someone else who scored, and the goal went down as me. Jack Fulton? The goal went down as me, but it wasn't actually me. But thank you, guys. Thanks, guys, for the messages.
That's humble of you.
I'll take the clean sheet.
I love that.
I'll take the clean sheet. It means more to me than a goal.
Yeah, clean sheet, 3 points. Doesn't get better than that.
Exactly. But the NPL did kick off, and we had a question here from Orazio Lapace.
Good name.
Who's looking good this year for the New South Wales NPL? You been keeping an eye on it?
I watched a couple games, just like a couple highlights when I was strolling through. Sydney United look strong. Started off
great start.
Marconi.
Yeah.
Look out for Spirit. I think they're going to be so good because I think they're one of the teams, and I know people that have played there kind of know the gaffer a little bit, that have been waiting to kind of get to NPL 1.
Yeah.
And now they've got there. It's because they play ball.
Yeah.
In possession, I always said this to Jambo, who's one of my best mates that played there. In possession, one of the best teams that I've seen play like that. They do. I don't even know. They're doing like inverted fullbacks coming in here, centre mix going out there. I'm thinking, the way they're flowing out of possession, they always looked a little bit troublesome. But I think taking that into NPL 1, I think they'll do. The
gaffer's Perkovic, right?
Yeah, Perkovic.
And look at what happened in the Waratah Cup as well.
Yeah.
They beat United.
You know what happens with those teams, right? I'm feeling it with even my team who's playing a bit lower is that we try to play football. And what happens with those teams like that, like Spirit, the higher you go, the better you play.
Yes.
Right?
Because everyone plays ball.
Exactly. So they struggled a little bit in NPL2 for years because you play a couple shit kicker teams, inevitably, and it's hard to play against.
Yeah.
But now that they're up at a higher level, they'll probably do better because that's where you can play because you're versing better players. It's weird how that works.
Yeah.
I'm sure if they played against an A-League team, particularly off-season, they would play very well.
They do all right,
You know, because they know how to handle it, they know how to play around. So that's a good shout. I reckon they'll do quite well. And Sydney FC Youth as well look very good. They got a lot of players with first grade experience playing in their youth team.
There was a grand final rematch too. Blacktown Manly, and Manly won it.
Manly won it.
Yeah,
well, doesn't count,
redemption.
Mate.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't mean shit winning round 1 of a season. You'd much rather win the grand final, I'll tell you that much. But it's an interesting timing with the NPL kicking off because FA have finally come out and officially opened the board to expressions of interest for the second division, right? They're saying we're going to have a second division, 2023.
So is this the first time it's happened?
This is
because I feel like this has happened a couple of years ago, and everyone's like, no, this is the first time. But I remember people saying this time ago. We were talking about it last year.
Officially, or just people throwing the idea around?
Because there was this like.
So this is the first time.
There was this like club association that came together, 100 clubs, but I think this is the first time that Football Australia officially have opened the inbox and said send in your expression of interest to join the second division.
Okay.
They've set out the criteria. They want 10 to 15 teams. There's a submission fee, of course, make some cash. But these are the criteria, right? Club must have all players on professional contracts getting paid a yearly salary.
Okay.
Good. We need that. Club must have a team of employed staff that work off field for the whole year. Club must be able to invest and operate a full talent development pathway. I think most clubs would have a youth system, right? That's fine. Yep. Club must have access to high quality facilities for match days.
Oh.
Okay. Don't know like what that means. Maybe no synthetic. I don't know what that's going to mean. They didn't say anything about synthetic. Club will also be judged on their vision, culture, history, governance, financial capacity, and capability and experience. Very general terms. Could mean anything.
Tough, yeah.
They'll then shortlist a list of clubs by June 23. That's pretty quick.
That is pretty soon.
Right, so we're going to see a shortlist very soon. who would you like? Is anyone standing out for you? Like, if you thought, obviously we're going to be quite New South Wales biased, but there are a few big teams in Victoria.
We're a bit biased. Well, let's try and mix it up. And
judging by that,
Melbourne a little bit as well. Maybe Adelaide's got some strong teams in there.
Yeah.
Judging by that, my mind automatically goes probably Apia, Marconi.
United.
Sydney United.
Because they've got the history as well as
history.
being
I'm
a good
thinking
team.
Spirit. The reason, I know I might be a little bit biased towards Spirit, but the reason I say Spirit is because I've seen the whole academy, the setup, and I've seen how they work from the lower ground all the way up to first grade, and and I think they pretty much play the same. They try and implement the system from the first grade to the start. So.
You know, they've actually got history. Northern Spirit was a big club in the national tier.
Oh, was it?
Before the A-League, Northern Spirit held the record for highest home attendance.
Oh, wow.
They got 19,000 to a game before the
What?
A-League. Yeah. Graham Arnold played there. Robbie Slater played there.
Wow,
They were
I
a
had
big
no
club.
idea.
Yeah, so they've actually got the history box ticked as well. I was thinking like a few Melbourne clubs that stand out, but I think the big one, South Melbourne. I know it's that whole like ethnic club thing that people are a bit skeptical about, but they've got a beautiful lakeside stadium. They've got a lot of history. You have people like Ange Postecoglou back in your club as well that have played there, coached there, everything. So I think they'll be a great shout for it. Anyone that stands out for you? Anyone you'd love to see?
I'm a New South Wales bias because I feel like I know more of those teams.
Yeah.
But I think, Blacktown are a fantastic club as well. They've made the final how many times?
Always there.
They're
Great
always
youth
there.
development.
They are. And there's, like you said, great youth development. I think look at the history of that club too. There's so many Socceroos who played there and there's such a connection.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I just think in general it's a great initiative.
It's a great thing. They also said possibly promotion relegation, didn't
Possibly. That'll follow
they?
after.
That's going to be...
That'll
gonna be
follow after.
That's the
very
key, though.
technical if they start putting that in there.
I don't think that'll happen for a long time because I
yeah.
can't see it. Maybe promotion. I just can't see an A-League team getting relegated anytime soon. But you never know. Let's see. I'll tell you what. One thing that all these NPL clubs, they're all great clubs. They've got great players, great characters, great history. Their marketing shit. I will say it. It's quite poor. I get it.
Who would have the best marketing?
The best, as in like on social media presence at the moment, the only NPL club that I've seen do something is a team called Preston Lions in the NPL 3 of Melbourne.
They've actually just sent. They're sending stuff out. I don't know.
You go.
You get a package.
I got a package.
There you
from
go.
them.
There you go.
The reason I didn't throw them out there is because they are NPL 3.
But they're backing. Like I was considering going to Melbourne to play for them. Like that's how good
they picked up a mate of mine, just signed there.
Yeah, that's how good the crowd is. And they
Macedonian club.
Macedonian club.
Wow. Put it on social media. I just think I'm like, hell yeah, I play for a club like that.
The guy that's running it is there's a whole marketing strategy now.
Right.
They're really promoting the club, and I think what's important too is they're not shying away from the female division too.
Okay.
They're making sure that the growth is on both sides.
Fantastic.
And making it appealing to females.
It's a nice part of
as
town,
well.
isn't it?
Preston's nice.
A nice part of Melbourne.
Little Preston market there.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever been there, but I heard it's nice.
Yeah, my friend.
I did hear it's nice. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to offer this to someone out there. Anyone that's listening to the pod right now, Born Offside can help massively, okay?
Yes.
I know you guys got your shit sorted on the pitch, but
Yeah.
if you want to get into the A-League or at least into this B-League that they're creating, you need a bit of marketing. You need a bit of hype. There's no one with greater hype than OLANTEKKERS. He's sitting right next to me, right?
Come on.
You can't get away from this guy. So, what I want you guys to do, tag us, send us in what club we should support the bid of. We're going to pick a club.
Yeah.
I know it's difficult.
No.
Anywhere, not just in New South Wales.
By
Can be
June
anywhere.
2023, we're going to pick a club somewhere in Australia and
we're
we're going to
backing.
go hard
Could
back
be
in this club.
Adelaide, could be Melbourne,
Exactly.
could be Perth.
We'll have
could be
players on
anywhere.
the pod.
We'll get players on the pod.
We'll
We'll create videos. I don't want to hype us up, but we
No.
probably have the capability to get this club into the second division. Allegedly.
There you
go.
Okay?
Allegedly.
I think we've got that power. So let us know who we should back and why. I want to speak to some of these clubs, and I reckon we should pick a club by midway through the year. That'd be
Yeah,
good fun.
I'm
I'm
down.
down.
Let's do it. All right, let's take a trip around the world now. Big news. Controversial news nonetheless, quite offside, but we're going to go there. Mason Greenwood.
Yes.
All charges being dropped after a key witness pulled out of the case. Now, we all know what happened with Mason Greenwood. We don't have to go through it again. Was a superstar at Manchester United, hasn't played, was apparently dropped from everything, all his sponsorships. Since the charges have now been dropped, no one knows what's going to happen next with him, but he's added Man United and Nike Football back to his Instagram bio. Has he still got a football career?
Nike football's back on.
No, United.
Back in his Instagram bio.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not at United.
Not
I
United?
don't think he. And I know people are saying, because I put out a little video and it's been like 70-30 people saying he doesn't deserve a chance. A couple United fans hanging on to him. But I just feel like even though he was acquitted of the charges and whatever they were, I feel like there's no smoke without fire.
Yeah.
He's still
we heard the recordings.
We heard the recording. Yeah. There is something going on there, and I think for that pure reason, he should not be playing for Man United. That's how I truly feel. And you know, we look at Mendy, where people are saying the whole Mendy case was a bit funny and some of the things could have dropped. Not a lot of people say Mendy should go back and play for United, City even.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But people are saying
Greenwood.
He should play for United. I don't agree with it.
It's tough.
I know it's a tough one. I just think he can have a football career, but there has to be an impact of what he has done.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Kat, isn't it? Because I'd love to get your opinion from a woman's point of view. Because by the eyes of the law, this is where it's like.
This is where it's tough.
This is where it's tough because legally, right? If he's innocent by the eyes of the law because nothing's happened to him.
Yeah.
Does Manchester United, as much as we don't know, but let's say he's an absolute piece of shit because we judge off what we heard on the recordings and stuff. Does Manchester United, as his employer, still have a responsibility for a guy that's so young and has come up through their youth system and is now not found guilty at all of anything, apparently? Now, however they managed to do that, did they pay someone off? Maybe. I don't know. We don't know. Does Man United have any sort of duty of care to him?
They do. They do in the sense that, so like my best friend works in HR.
Right.
You get sexual assault claims happening all the time. Like harassment claims are just a thing in the office, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's not just a football thing. This is a life thing.
Yeah.
And there's a responsibility to the employer to continue investigating, to make sure that, you know, it's legitimate.
Right.
It's all alleged at this point. I think the biggest thing, right, is like you look at the history of football in Australia and like players who've been caught in cases like this, Jack DeBellin, Jared Hayne. You've got stories where people have pulled out, they've dropped the claims. It ruins that person's reputation.
Yeah.
So as a female, I'm torn between understanding that, you know, these things can happen and there can be like incorrect moments where like I say incorrect moments, but it's not the right way of describing it. I mean more, you know, sometimes there is malicious intention behind these claims and sometimes they are legitimate.
Yep.
And the hardest thing is to know which is which.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take a stance on it. I don't want to take a side because
no, of course not.
It's one of those things where this guy's reputation's ruined and to your point, Olan, like he needs to experience that and he's clearly not done the right thing. But if the claims have been dropped, you have to go by what the law says.
That's the thing. It's
But
like
I just think
it's hard. It's so hard.
Times, like how many times when we think of, I know this is going to be extreme, but we go OJ murder, right?
Yeah.
Everyone goes, what was it? If the glove doesn't fit, you must. How many people think he done that murder?
Everyone.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes the law doesn't actually.
It doesn't do its job.
No,
doesn't do its job. So if we as people know, okay, well, we don't think the law has done its job here. All right, cool. Just give him his job back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's that, but then it's also there's plenty of reasons, allegedly, why a woman would drop a claim against such a powerful person and club. I'm not saying anything's happened, but there are plenty of reasons outside of it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And so it's how do you roll forward with it, knowing that. And like his reputation is so damaged. Like, I was out the other night and I saw a guy with a Greenwood jersey on.
Really?
I saw a guy with a Manchester United Greenwood on the back.
Is that offside? Like, can we talk about
That's
that?
offside.
You should not be wearing a Greenwood jersey, right?
No. And
because it's like, what are you representing if
so
you wear that?
I was at Vic on the Park in Marrickville,
and he was just walking through with a Greenwood jersey.
And he left the venue, and I went. There's actually a video because my friend was taking a photo of me at the time. Yeah. And I was smiling, and then my face drops. Because you can see me see the guy.
But did anyone say anything to this guy?
Well, he was leaving. I don't know. Maybe he was leaving because people were like, what the fuck are you wearing?
No.
But I just, for all that I'm like, I want to remain impartial in the sense that, like, you know, we all work in football and, like, we all know that shit happens. But as a female, that's scary stuff. That's reality. That's things a lot of females go through. And to be associating yourself with a name like that so soon.
Yeah, I think that's pretty stupid. I mean, I look at it and I got two opinions on it. When I look at the Mason Greenwood situation, I look at it like, okay, there's no doubt this guy's done something bad. Yeah. I mean, we all heard the recordings, right? That's fucked up. I don't have, again, similar to you, I don't have an opinion on what happens to his football career now. Yeah. I don't know because I'm like, it's hard when the law has now said there's nothing against you. It's like, fuck. Like, does that just undermine the law if we punish someone when the law didn't punish them? It's weird. It's hard. But what I will say, the scarier part is people around the world who attach themselves to that and go out and wear a Greenwood jersey almost in support. That's the scarier part.
The scary
These
part
guys.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
the comments.
It's almost given the other side be like, I told you these bitches are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
That's what it's feeding to.
Yes,
now.
yeah.
I
Exactly
agree.
right.
So and those people are the people that I'm like, no, bro, you don't understand what was. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like,
So
just because they're saying not guilty, you know, because someone's withdrawn their claims, it doesn't mean that the way he treated that girl was okay.
Exactly.
It doesn't condone domestic violence. It doesn't condone even talking to a woman like that. And that's all. We have evidence of that.
Yes, yeah, exactly right. So that's the scary part about it. There are a lot of people that will attach themselves to that. We'll keep you guys posted with all this. We'd love to hear your opinions as well. Send that right into the pod. We had some deadline day madness since the last time we spoke. We knew it would be crazy. We didn't expect that much money to be spent. Enzo Fernandez finally went through. Chelsea were in the thick of it because Hakim Ziyech didn't move, even though he was meant to.
He's supposed to. What? He just didn't want to leave.
Bruv, he was done to PSG. He was ready to go. PSG. There's a record of PSG waiting for Chelsea to send the signed documents, and Chelsea are like, yeah, we sent it. There was 5 minutes till close. They said, yeah, we sent it. And then PSG didn't get it till 3 minutes after the window closed. So everyone's saying Chelsea fucked him around big time.
Days.
What? They were wasting their time so they wouldn't get someone else.
Yeah, there's like a minute by minute breakdown of Chelsea saying, like, there's a message from Chelsea going, yep, we sent it to you. And then the file actually arrived like 10 minutes later.
Chelsea's that client that you hated working with on like a Friday afternoon.
What are they doing? Joao Cancelo joined Bayern Munich.
That was quite a big move.
What the hell happened there?
You don't fuck with Pep, bro. You have to shake it. I told you have to shake it.
We're talking about him about one of the best right backs in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Didn't I put him in my
and he's just bang. 11. He's not in the Prem anymore. He's gone.
No.
See ya.
I think that's Pep.
Back
just
to the
flexing.
number 1 Opta team.
Yeah, Pep's just flexing, just saying, bruv, like, no one's bigger than the club. He was umming and ahhing about not playing since the World Cup. Pep shafted him. We had a question here on Harry Souttar obviously moved. We had a one here from KO8156. Opinions on Harry Souttar's Leicester debut.
Scored an goal, didn't he?
Got a win, scored an OG.
Yeah.
Happens.
Was excited.
Up and down.
First Prem goal.
Yeah.
Wrong net. Next time, right net.
Happens.
It happens.
You're there. Let
got
him
a goal.
Centre back.
Got a goal.
Hey, you still got the win.
That's part of the job. Got
It's
the win.
still one more
That's all
goal
that
than we've
matters.
scored.
Exactly right. One -1 actually.
-1.
So technically, we have more
So now
goals
he
than Harry
wins.
Souttar in the Prem because he's -1, we're 0. So look, it's all a bit of fun. I think Brendan Rodgers was quite impressed with him. I think he'll actually start for Leicester week in,
Look,
week
great
out.
that he played so quickly as well.
Yeah, exactly right. How successful will Souttar be at Leicester? Ronan Humbles, is he the man to start week in, week out for them?
I think so.
Yeah.
I love the way Leicester fans have taken to him.
They
I
love
the
him.
way that they like not going, oh, who the hell is this fucking Aussie bloke or whatever, you know. I just hope that he does well.
Yeah.
It'd be really good.
Ante Bros has asked us about Marcel Sabitzer going to Manchester United to replace the injured Eriksen. Is that a rush signing or could that turn out like Casemiro? I'm a big fan of Marcel Sabitzer. Been a fantastic.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Casemiro because that was a disaster over the weekend.
Well, let's go there now. I mean, I just want to say to you, Ante, I'm a big fan of Sabitzer since his days at Leipzig. He's been a bit like passed around, like a bit of pass the parcel, but hopefully he finds a home soon. Something tells me that home won't be Man United, but he's a top player. Let's talk about Casemiro. Choked out a player in a fight. 3-match ban, they reckon now. Now, the last time they didn't have him against Arsenal, they obviously struggled without him. It's a massive loss. Is that fair? It was a brawl. Everyone was in there.
It was a brawl, but
this
is the reason why I love like a Prem brawl and stuff because you can't get away with anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Sunday League brawl, probably
get away with that
NPL,
easy.
semi-pro brawl, whatever happens. I'm getting away with a little like punching the balls,
shot.
whatever.
Yeah, punching the balls.
Like, whatever you do, you're getting away with it. Like,
That's
stab on the
that's
toe,
a
little
dog
grab
shot,
it up.
bro.
You know
Punching
what I
the
mean?
balls.
Not punch, but a little tap.
A little tap on the nads, yeah.
But Premier League, you're not getting away with anything.
Nah.
You
VAR
can't choke a guy.
I was literally watching him choke.
Yeah,
when there's millions of people watching, like, what do you think? You're not getting away with that.
Could have at least bought him dinner first,
it
Kat.
was just,
Don't you reckon? Could have at least bought him dinner.
That's his thing.
This is the thing.
That's his thing.
That's a good one.
There's a time and place.
Yeah, there is.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah, same.
I don't know, bro.
No, me either.
I don't know. This is what I mean. I don't like putting my hands on anyone, but
Allegedly.
a lot of people say there's a time and place for the two-hand choke. Is that right?
2 hands.
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you. Is there a time and place for a two-hand choke?
Normally in one hand, but
I
anyway.
think-
Well, he's two-handed him.
That's too far.
Do you think that's
What
too
do
far?
you mean?
Okay, let's move on.
What do you mean?
Let's fucking move on, please.
Cats looked at you like, what do you mean two hands is too much?
Just
See,
move
Olan? That's fucked up.
I've
No,
never
it's
done
That's
that.
some crazy
I've
shit.
never done
No,
two
no,
hand,
no,
but
no.
anyway.
They
No.
two-hand choke's fine?
Let's go one hand.
Those that are listening,
One
cats
hand.
gone
One
quiet.
hand because my mum listens to this. Can we move on?
Yes, same.
Anyway, you shouldn't choke anybody
Don't choke anybody.
on the football pitch, and you also shouldn't choke anyone without any
In
consent.
general.
Unless they ask you to choke them lightly, then it's okay. Is that right?
Stop asking me.
Yeah, why'd you keep asking Kat?
Oh, is that okay? Oh,
I don't know.
Okay.
Actually, I've been. Anyway,
you've been choking.
let's move on. Let's move on. My
Olan
missus
likes
might
to be
listen-
choked.
she might
One or
listen
two
to-
hands?
Huh?
Do you like to be
I
choked
think-
one or two hands?
No, but I'm like, what? Saying a girl choking you?
I don't know. You're saying that, not me.
He's
Don't
making
fucking
you
do
provide
this,
the
Claude.
context.
He always does this. He puts it on you and he lets you go, doesn't he?
Do you know what?
So you drown and he's just like, nah, I just teed you up. But
No. He pushes us off the boat
Yeah,
and then
it's-
starts driving.
yeah.
I'm the
facts.
captain. That's
We
why.
know,
Facts.
we know that this is all about what Claude likes. You've made it really clear.
True.
Anyway,
Girls listening.
I think everyone can choke everyone as long as it's consensual. The choking's fine. Choke me, it's fine. Anyway, let's move on. But on the football pitch, no.
Take a shot every time.
To be
Claude
fair,
says
I like a
choke.
choke on the football pitch too. Like what I'm saying.
Wait, on the football pitch.
What I'm saying is, so many times you talk about Sunday League, like semi-pro. So many times, someone fucking kicks you from the back. You turn around, I'll grab, like, but you never get sent off for it. Like you said,
yeah.
because there's no VAR on Sunday.
You
League.
grab, you do the neck grab.
Fuck yeah, bro! Don't fucking touch me. Do you know what I mean? But you don't get sent off for that.
Yeah.
And like in semi-pro or like Sunday League, that's honestly just a talking to. I don't even
fair.
think you get a yellow for that.
Yeah.
That's why I felt bad for him. But two-hand choke. Doing his best impersonation of the Big Show. The Big Show loved
So
the choke
funny.
slam, isn't that right, producer Shams? That was the Big Show's. That was the Big Show's
And
move.
it's the big show.
Well, they're going to miss him big time. Moving on, Nottingham Forest went a little crazy in the transfer window as well, spending a fair bit like Chelsea. This is a great story. Speaking of spending crazy money, Liga side Reims. They get fined £22,000. Did we talk about this last week? We didn't talk about this last week, did we? They get fined £22,000 every single match because their gaffer doesn't have his license yet.
I've seen that on TikTok.
Right?
What?
And is he just
He's
an
big-
English?
Yeah, he's a big
English
ginger.
lad.
He's an English lad.
And his
He's a-
French is amazing.
Yeah. And he came up apparently, so he was coaching the under 14s back in the UK and was really good at youth level. And no bullshit, apparently he's a whiz football manager.
That's what I heard as well.
Yeah, so he grew up playing
Shout
the
out to
video
Specs.
games. Exactly.
Shout out to
You're
Specs
telling me
Gonzalez.
that this man has made his way up by
video
playing
game.
football
Proper
manager.
Football manager. Have you played Football Manager though? It's like so
Don't you
intense.
remember
No, I
that? Don't you
haven't
remember
really.
that Football Manager story where I think it was a Scotland. I think it might have been Celtic or somewhere.
Yeah.
Someone's dad was the manager of Celtic or Rangers.
Yeah.
And the son was playing Football Manager a lot, and he told his dad about Messi. Messi was
No.
like 14, 15, 16. He was
Right.
like, "Dad, you need to sign this guy. Put
I've
me on a
heard this
Messi."
story, yeah.
And his dad goes, I'll have a look into it at work. I'll have a look into it. He looks into it at work, tries to sign him from Barca. He almost signed him, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
Something happened. The deal fell through. And obviously, we know
Wow.
who Lionel Messi is today.
Yeah.
But his son was playing. Yeah.
Football Manager, bro.
Football Manager, they send scouts to games.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
take this thing seriously.
It is the shit.
It's not a joke.
Well, he's proven that it works. He got a draw against PSG last week. He's doing very, very well. £22,000 they have to play every single weekend, and they're happy to pay it because he's doing that good of a job.
Well, if you go watch that TikTok clip of the gaffer,
Yeah.
it was amazing. He
Yeah.
was like full-on English bloke. Like I think he's like probably from up north Birmingham, speaking fluent French to his team, giving them. I love it because that means he's taken the time out
Yeah.
to learn French and try and make it a smooth transition.
Yeah, well, he's been assistant manager a few times in Belgium as well, so he would have also had that experience there. So he's managed to learn the language. He's doing really well. He's got a super
Wow.
career ahead of him. Quick one I wanted to say though about money. Our football clubs, they got so much money. Like these guys are willing to. They're not even a huge club.
Like that's wild to think that they're spending
22,000
that much
just-
on a fine. It's wasted money.
Chuck it, chuck it every time. That's like when I get fined around here. The private parking.
Yeah.
You still get fined around there?
I get fined around here for private parking. You know what I mean? I don't pay it. I just scrunch it up and volley it. Because if it's not official council, I'm not paying it. Do you know what I mean? So I feel a little bit like Reams when I get
Yeah.
fined. Same outside my gym now. It's like a private property and they keep fining me. I'm just like, keep fining me, bro.
You seem to be the problem here.
Keep fining me, right? It's not official. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. Anyway, but there's been a lot of noise made about the Premier League, right? £815 million was
Jesus.
spent in January.
Jeez, just in January.
Just in January. That beat the previous record by 90%.
horrendous.
By 90% they beat it this year. It was
I bet
crazy.
you Chelsea covered 50% of that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, like
Right.
at least 500 of that was Chelsea.
Yeah, well, people are calling for percentages of these transfers to be donated to charity or something to happen in football because there's no stopping the money. So how can we as people be okay with this amount of money floating between billionaires around the world and nothing being given to the people
Yeah.
who need it? So Chelsea's transfer for Mudryk, right, 20% of that went to helping families and recovering soldiers from the Ukrainian war.
I like that.
So that's an example of what people are calling should be a part of every single transfer. Common goal organization.
I mean, given his connection to the Ukraine, like you need
sense.
to be doing something like that.
Exactly. And so this is what people are saying. Do we think, is football transfers getting out of hand now? Enzo just broke the record as well. Is this, do you look into how much money a player goes for? Is this getting out of hand?
I've lost.
You don't care?
Like interest in the money anymore.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
It's just it almost this is what it feels like to me. It feels like it's a virtual reality. It doesn't feel like that's real money.
As long as
you know what I'm saying?
Like Sims money.
It's like Sims. I'm like, oh, that's 50 million. Oh,
so if you
like, it doesn't feel like they actually try. Like I never think that's actual 50 million pounds.
Yeah. If you think about what you could do with that money.
Yeah.
If you as a Chelsea fan want a player, right? Let's say you want this player. You don't care how much money you spent to get him. Like it's not your money. You care?
I do care how much they've paid to get him.
Okay. It still matters to you.
It still matters to me how much they paid.
Right.
Like I said, but I just in my head I always think that like that's not real money.
Yeah.
But it is.
It is.
No, I agree. I have the exact same.
So you care who Liverpool sign, like how much they spent?
Oh, yeah, but don't you feel like now it's like every week we break a record?
And honestly, I swear to you, I don't think I give a fuck about the transfer.
Yeah.
Like the transfer value anymore.
I don't.
It doesn't make a difference to me.
It.
If you want that player, just get it. The money is so astronomically stupid now, and we all know it's stupid.
Yeah.
That I don't care.
Yeah,
like
I
Harry
agree.
Maguire. The moment Harry Maguire went for 80, that's fine. You wanted Harry Maguire, you paid, you got him. Like I don't read into how much.
You don't read how much.
No, because it's just going to keep going up. So like, how do we even compare when Diego Maradona was 10 million?
Jesus.
And now Enzo Fernandez, another Argentinian, is 120 million.
Yeah.
He is not
inflation.
Maradona.
This is what I mean, inflation. I go down, I want to buy a packet of chips from the store. They charge me $5. You taking the piss?
Yeah.
I remember spending $1 on those, Kat.
Yeah.
Chupa Chup.
Yeah.
Used to be 20 cents.
I feel for you.
Charge me $1 a Chupa Chup now.
But also, I'm trying to get that inflation bag as well, so I can't complain.
Yeah, to cover the costs of life, which are also inflated.
Exactly. But look, there's inflated pressure on Chelsea and Liverpool at the moment. Both of them playing
segue
pretty.
there.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Both of them playing pretty shit now. Liverpool especially
I don't
got
want to
done.
talk about it, to be honest.
3-0
lost to Wolves. Oh.
Hey, Hansi Flick was at the crowd.
Horrendous.
Chelsea's game.
Oh yeah.
Don't know why. Don't know if he's looking for a job at Chelsea. There's cash there, so he was up there just chilling. But Liverpool also got fed 3-0. Klopp said the third goal didn't count because Wolves, it was the first time they got out of their half.
Right.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Didn't count.
Yeah.
Right.
Was that his actual excuse?
His actual
No,
word was
that's
like,
horrendous.
he said that third goal
That is
doesn't.
horrendous.
He said that third goal doesn't count because it was the first time they got out of their half. So what did Wolves do? Wolves posted the final score as 2-0. And they crossed out the third goal.
Oh,
I saw that.
That's great banter.
You know what?
That's great banter.
It
I
is
love the
great
social
banter.
media teams of these teams, like of these Premier League teams. Like they're
brilliant.
recruiting
They're brilliant.
people that are just like meme heads.
Don't
Yeah.
you think like
They love
that's-
it.
Social media has just gone up a notch.
It's so good, man.
It's
Everyone's
so
like
good.
not afraid. The admins on
In
TikTok.
like every
Admins
sport.
are crazy.
Yeah.
Every sport.
Yeah.
I love Juve doing a great job
Yeah,
on TikTok
great.
as well. All
Yeah.
these Italian clubs.
And they take the piss of themselves,
Yeah.
which is great.
Look, I'm a Liverpool supporter, but even I know that a lot of what Klopp says is memeable.
Can we start? Can we finally accept that Klopp is a dickhead? Like honestly, like I mean,
Well, the nice guy thing was.
bro, he's never been a nice guy. Don't get me wrong.
The
Klopp
nice
is
guy
What do you
facade
mean
was
not a
like
nice
for like
guy?
2-3 years. There was a nice guy
Klopp is
facade.
an incredible manager, Kat.
Okay.
Incredible manager. Like
Okay.
there haven't been many better Premier League
Okay.
managers than Jurgen Klopp. The job he's done at Liverpool, I can sit here and say he's fucking incredible. Don't come here and tell me he's a nice guy. People forever, he's such a nice guy. He's amazing. Klopp isn't Klopp like that? He feels like your uncle. He's so nice. He's not fucking nice. I'd be nice too if I was winning leagues and smacking everyone 5-0. The moment shit doesn't go his way, he's an absolute dick,
Yeah,
I
agree.
think you're way harsh.
bro.
I
cannot
don't-
stand
I
him.
kind of agree with what
Don't you
Claudes was
reckon?
saying. I do
No,
hear that.
He's always first to whinge. Remember with the COVID?
He loves a
just,
whinge.
That's just him responding to a really irritable situation.
When has he ever been nice when he hasn't just dusted a team 3-4-0? That's the only time he's
Like,
like, ha ha.
when-
Boom. You know
Yeah.
when he's really nice when
Yeah.
he's like, fuck off, bro.
He loves
Look,
it
when
they
we
win.
lost-
Cooks me so much.
When we lost a couple of weeks ago,
Well,
he
Pep did a Klopp. So
Pep's always a
Pep,
gronk. See,
Pep
that's why I
done a
like
Klopp,
Pep.
though. He did.
Consistent.
I think this
Consistent.
weekend when they lost, he said the
travel.
travel down
Yeah.
from Manchester's a
Yeah.
lot and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, but-
he done a Klopp.
Yeah, but I like Pep because Pep's always a dickhead. Always. Pep will beat someone 4-0 and the interviewer's trying to talk to him and he's just like, just giving them nothing. Like, I like that he plays on being a gronk. Whereas Klopp tries to be a nice guy and you're not, bro.
Claudes, I hope that you find out that you have to interview him
One day.
and he's just the nicest guy to you.
I hope so. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he
you're
doesn't watch
wrong.
this because I'd like to interview him.
I
He's
think it's a
fantastic
little
manager.
harsh. I think when we are all under intense pressure in our jobs, sometimes it doesn't bring out the nicest side of us.
Well,
Plus,
that's what you're paid to do, though. You can't
doesn't
give
matter.
that excuse.
It doesn't matter.
He's like that guy that's been really nice to you. You know, that guy's been really nice to you, and he's
Yeah.
asking, how's your day and everything.
Yeah.
Like, every day wants to know everything
and
about
soon
you.
then they realize they're not getting anything out of you.
Until everything, the stars align for you to go for a drink with them or something, and then you go, I'm actually going out with another guy.
Yeah.
And then they turn and they, well, fuck you, you know, and they're really bad to you.
And you're like,
that's Jurgen Klopp.
that's who you are.
Oh, that's who you are. You were just trying to get some. That's Jurgen Klopp.
Wow.
I hear that.
Right.
I'm not disagreeing with that
So
at all.
I am like the Premier League trophy, and Klopp is like the guy that's trying to get that.
Yes.
Trophy.
Thanks for that clarification, Kat. Let's move on to a big win for Everton and Sean Dyche. Nick Conno 20 asked, "Is this the beginning of the end for Arsenal?"
Oh
Don't
my!
do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
No,
it's so annoying.
Fucking hell, is this they lose once, like Arsenal fan TV's back. Fucking relax, bro.
It's actually ridiculous.
But
Like after
City
the
went and
season
lost
that they
right after.
City lost as well.
Yeah.
No,
I put money on
that's
that game, so I'm happy.
stupid.
I won.
You put money on Everton.
Yeah, I put money on Everton.
Cracker.
Sean Dyche back in the Premier League.
Yeah.
They're running the beep test the first week.
Yeah.
My money's on Everton, bro.
Is there a place, like, has football gone full circle? Like, we saw all the tiki-taka and all the pretty shit. Sean Dyche came in, he did a beep test in his first session. He banned hats, he banned beanies and snoods in training.
Benched Dwight. What's his name? Is it Dwight?
Who'd he bench?
The winger. Fucking winger, black winger.
They'll come back to you.
Yeah, come back to me.
Right, they'll come back to you. He made all players have to train every session with shin pads. So his thing is, like, if you're going to wear shin pads on the weekend, you train with shin pads.
I hate that.
If you can't wear a beanie on the weekend, you don't wear a beanie at training. So he's made players, he's humbled them down a little bit, right? And he said, this has been around for years and it drives me mad. Unless the rules of the game change, you train the same way you play. It's not rocket science. Are we seeing football go full circle? Does that old school work?
I love Sean Dyche. Like, I listened to a podcast of him ages ago when he was talking about bringing Burnley up and his mindset in and around signing a player at that time. And he was like, the first thing I do before I sign a player is I go, how are your manners? That's the first thing he goes.
Discipline.
Does he say please? Does he say thank you?
Yeah.
Is he gracious? That's the first thing. Before he even looks at, like, your football, then we go, all right, can he play football now?
Yeah.
I love that.
And I'm like, that's mad.
Yeah.
Isn't it cool how obviously Dyche knows what he's doing when it comes to relegation and look at what he did with Burnley, but you're right that in that moment of, like, ultimate clutch, saving yourself from relegation, you do go back to the most old school forms of training.
Yeah.
But also, I was thinking, why is it always, and I think we kind of know, but I'm like, why is it always whenever there's a new gaffer in, that I want to know what the ratio is of a new gaffer coming in and that team winning off the new gaffer coming in.
Always, eh? It's like players just finally decide to work hard again.
The new gaffer comes in.
Inspiration.
And if you're Frank Lampard at home, you're
pissed yourself because you've been screaming at him for the rest of, like, the half of the season.
Yeah.
New gaffer comes in, everyone digs in, and I'm like, what is it of that new gaffer coming in, the turnaround, the shift, and players that weren't playing before or players that were playing different, they just go, all right, cool.
It's amazing, eh? The
It's
psychology.
a really good point. Yeah, the psychology of it, the inspiration of that new coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane, but you talk about psychology, you talk about players that have to get over those speed humps. Harry Kane has well and truly put all that transfer shit behind him. He became Spurs' all-time leading goal scorer with his goal to beat Manchester City, which was the club he was supposed to sign for. The question now, though, is, does he do a Robin van Persie or a Gareth Bale and jump ship in the later part of his career and chase the trophies? Or does he stay at Spurs, become the best Spurs player of all time, if he's not already, Kat? What do you think he should do?
Oh, it's become a bit of a legacy thing
Should
with
just
Tottenham.
Stay?
It's not to say that it's the best move for him because, like you said, he probably won't get the trophies he wants to get at Spurs that he could get if he moved elsewhere. But I think his kind of, like I said, legacy to that club now is so strong. I think it would be really difficult to move.
Yeah,
kind of iffy about him because of that whole thing that he did wanting to move.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, yes, he's achieved that.
Was that leverage?
But he achieved that. But, like, did he want to achieve that?
Did he want to do that or did he want to get out?
Do you know what I mean? Because he did the whole interview with Gary Neville saying, I'm leaving.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
I hear it, but
it's the leverage thing. And it's the same thing you do, like you said, when you're dating a guy and, like, you like one, but you use the other as a bit of leverage.
Oh, so you think he leveraged Man City to
I think he might have leveraged it just to get more of what he wanted out of that club and
do you make guys jealous to make them like you more?
I don't think you should have to.
But you do that?
But every now and again, you might have to.
This is why women are terrible. You see that?
Yeah. I know. I'm not surprised.
That is terrible.
Girls do it.
God damn, that is terrible. But anyway, it worked for him. It's probably worked for you, Kat. I rate
Don't judge me
it.
if you're living at home. I'm still a nice girl.
Yeah, sure. Question here from Wazza, a good friend of ours. Which championship sides do you see going up? Burnley are top of the league at the moment. They're flying with Vincent Kompany. That'll be interesting to see Burnley play against Sean Dyche and actually keep the ball against Sean Dyche. Sheffield United are in second place. Middlesbrough are sitting in third.
It'd be nice to see Middlesbrough up there.
What happened to Luton?
I don't know. I was third.
They were great last year. No, they're not third. Producer Shabs, you've bottled that one. Luton they're fourth.
Yeah, then I gotta go.
They came back up.
I gotta go homeboys. I gotta go Luton Town, mate. Where I'm
They're doing well, and they've got a game in hand as well.
Yeah. Born and raised, never doubt the Hatters, mate.
That would be good to see Luton up in the Prem, wouldn't it? Yeah, not bad. We've got a question in here.
I'd be so happy if we saw that.
That'd be good. Oh, mate.
If they go up,
Born Offside are going. We're doing a hometown tour.
We'll go.
That'd be sick.
We'll go because Tom Kundevsky asked us if Luton go up, is Olan ditching Chelsea and going for his hometown?
Oh,
I might have to.
Oh,
the way we're playing.
Yeah, you probably have
better off
chance.
going for Luton, but no, it'd be good.
That's a tough one.
It'd be good to see us back. I think the last time Luton were close to going to the Prem, I was probably around 11, 12. I remember my dad telling me Rafa Benitez. When was Rafa Benitez there?
Yeah,
So,
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Yeah,
what year?
4, 5, 6.
Yeah, it was like Rafa Benitez could be down there next
Iconic.
year, and then they got the 30-point deduction for transfer.
Oh,
So yeah,
no.
and we got 30-point deduction, and then we got, I think it was relegated 3 times back to back.
Shit.
Nationals League.
Yeah,
That's
when I was in
crying
the
yourself to
academy.
sleep
I
at night.
was like, fuck, damn it.
You were about to be in a Premier League academy.
Yeah, I was like this close to being in the Premier League academy and then National League. I'm like,
That's really rough.
Damn, that's football, eh? It's
Character
crazy.
building.
Big shift in tone here. Nathan Shahin has asked us, are you single? Producer Shabs, who's he
what's
asking?
that? Who's approving these questions, bro?
Producer Shabs,
Fuck.
we're trying to keep this football
What do you
related.
need
You can't
from
just
me?
ask if Kat's single.
Is he speaking to Kat?
DM her, bro.
How do we know he's not speaking to me?
Cat's photo was
Oh, he's replied to the photo of Kat. Okay. Look, Nathan, if you want to try your luck, just message Kat directly.
No, don't.
Right.
No,
but
don't.
you probably don't, because it probably won't work.
First, yeah.
But I'm saying don't.
If you got a blue tick, it might work.
Yeah.
Joking.
If you've got a blue tick, she'll open
No,
it.
if you got a blue tick, she'll see it.
She'll see it.
That's all. That's all
So
we can assure you.
I've not painted the best picture of myself today.
So work on yourself, get that blue tick, get a few more followers, and then Kat will entertain your offer.
Yeah, possibly.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Apparently, they do all the talking for me.
There's a
We
better
do. We got to
chance.
sign off.
We were saying we should do a dating show.
Yeah,
Right,
actually
because
should.
How
I'd
much
love
fun would it
this.
be
Yeah.
if we get maybe a couple A-League footballers, that have shown some interest in Kat? I'm not going to name names.
I'm
not gonna name names,
Wait,
but-
do we vet them before Kat even
This
sees
is what
them?
I'm thinking.
I
right?
feel like you guys date them first.
Imagine, I'm not going to date them.
No, but you know, like you
Yeah.
guys sit down with
Yeah,
them.
100%.
You know what I like.
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
like to think by this point.
Well,
you
I
do.
learnt a lot about it today.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Goalkeepers.
Goalkeepers have a better chance.
How did I
Kat.
give you that impression? Oh, the joking.
Casemiro. Anyway, we'll sit some A-League footballers down on the couch. We'll find out a little bit more about them, and then we'll pick one for you to go on a date with.
Yeah, sick.
Okay.
How about that?
Sick.
That'd be
I like
good.
Let us know. Send us in messages if
Send
that's
us
something
any
that you'd
A-League
actually like
footballers
to
that are
see.
interested in taking Kat out on a date. You got to go through me and Olan first.
Facts.
You don't have to actually go through us. That pause. You just got to sit down with us.
Christ.
Just got to sit down with us and have a conversation.
What I fully imagine, like my head just goes, when you say shit like that, you got to stop that, man. Imagine A-League footballers going through us first. And then, yeah, of course.
You can come and sit down on the couch. Have a chat. Anyway. Nelson the G-Man, big fan of the show. Olan, how you enjoying maths so far? Married at First Sight, you been on it?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, have you boys, are you watching it yet?
I
boys
caught
and
a
girls?
little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
see
boys.
much. Yeah, boys.
Boys and girls. Boys and
I didn't
girls.
see much of it, no.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be as good as last year, sorry. But again, you know how maths is like.
Yeah.
Around the corner, you never know what's coming for you. Waiting for them dinner parties. Before you know it, I'll be hanging out with the crew. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. They'll be your new best mates. Last one I want to ask you as well. Ronan Humbles. Should the A-League do something similar to Sky Sports fan overlap? Have you seen that?
No, what's that?
Oh, is this like the streaming thing?
It's when they sit down. I think it's Josh Denzel hosts it. Sits down with like Gary Neville, Carragher, maybe Keane. They're up on stage and they bring in all the diehard fans from all the clubs.
That's
and
cool.
they can ask questions to
That's
them
cool.
and that the fan overlap. So this would be like having some of the biggest, maybe like your Bozza, maybe even like head of the FA, head of the APL, these guys on stage,
Yeah,
and
get
then bring in the
Townsend in
biggest
there.
diehard A-League fans and let them just open forum.
I don't think that would be a good idea right now.
No? Yeah?
No, I don't
Just get rid
think
of all
that would be a good-
flares, buckets.
No victory
Yeah,
fans.
No buckets
Scanning
Yeah.
that security.
of sand.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the room. No hard objects.
I do think that's a really good idea, though. Because
Just about
I feel
transparency.
like there's a lot of transparency with the Premier League. You know, like
100%.
you feel like you can, whatever hard questions you have, you can guarantee that Carragher, Gary Neville, whoever is going to ask that hard question to whoever they're sitting down with. You know what I mean? So you kind of get those hard. Whereas A-League, I don't know if we get to ask those hard questions to the
To be
people
honest,
who run it.
like the role of Dub Zone is to do that.
Yeah.
Like we talk about the stuff that nobody wants to.
Are
because
you
they're too
allowed
scared
to?
We are.
Are you allowed to sit
Like,
there and
I
say,
was-
I think this, I think Tony Gustafson's this, and
Yes,
he's wrong?
I
and he's-
would technically be allowed to say if I thought that. Obviously, I'd articulate it in a less aggressive way.
Yeah. Well,
But
each their own.
I'm allowed to have an opinion.
Okay.
Like I
That's good.
don't.
That's how it should be.
I'm there as the social person. You know, I'm reflecting the commentary of the fans.
She's just not allowed to say a Nike boot doesn't look good. That's the only one she's not allowed to say.
Just Nike?
She's not allowed to say an Adidas boot looks better than Nike or anything like that. But besides that,
I
Kat is
got
allowed.
through a
Square the
whole
deal.
episode, you know,
Besides
before you
that,
had to bring that up.
Kat is allowed an opinion. She just has to say Nike's the best thing ever. That's
But
as long
back
as she
to
says
that.
that. Yeah.
I think the key is that A-League doesn't have enough of a narrative
Yeah. Okay.
outside of like just what happens in the games. The more conversation around it, the better.
Conversation's always
Accountability is to playing better, to being better as a football organisation. It's all of that stuff. Like that's what makes the sport better. So we need to be able to talk about it and not take offence. It's like being critical just shows that you care.
Yeah, exactly. Accountability is always good. Questions are always good. Don't ever be afraid to ask questions and criticise, but in the right way. Let's all do it for the better of the game. It's been a long episode here on Born Offside. We strayed offside a couple of times, but I think all in all, we're quite tame in my opinion today.
enjoyed
I
it.
don't think today was tame.
No?
at all.
That's
No.
good.
Besides the
Pretty good.
choking chat, it was
It's
pretty
really
tame.
hot in here.
It was pretty. Yeah, it is a bit toasty in here. We're going to turn the aircon on. We're going to jump off here. There's also a special episode dropping later in the week. Kat and Olan sit down with a superstar of our women's game, so you don't want to miss that one either. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Make sure you're following the pod, subscribing to the pod, doing all those things, sending in your questions each and every week, guys. We'll speak to you again next week. Ciao.
See you
See ya.
guys.
Bye.